divine masculinity, along with the goddess, but there was a great emphasis of the god as well, was really profound. And I had these really deep shifts at that festival, to the point where I was just about to go on to speak, to give the keynote address, and I really, like 2 hours before, shifted the whole topic of what I was going to talk about, and really talked about the divine masculine and finding brotherhood in a very different way than I was going to talk about it before. And the relationships I've built with those guys, and I actually go back now every year. My husband and I go back for fun every year. It's the one festival that I do completely for fun and completely for charity, and really help promote, because I just found such a sense of divine masculinity and divine brotherhood there, and working ritual. It was really the first time I think I worked exclusively with all gay men in ritual, and really experienced kind of gay men's mysteries. So I think it's important for everybody to explore all gender aspects. I think it's important to really figure out, how you identify, if you identify in a specific way, and to explore all ranges of it. So I think men, straight or gay or bisexual, should explore both goddess and god. And I think different groups of people who identify in a similar way have their own mysteries. I think gay men have their own mysteries. I think lesbians have their own mysteries. I think straight men have their own mysteries, and straight women have their own mysteries. I know I had experiences early on in my craft career that I really wanted to go to a women's circle, because all my friends were going to a women's circle, and like, you just don't have the right equipment, you can't go, this is for women only. And at the time, I remember thinking that was terribly unfair, but now, after having these experiences, I realized, well, women have certain mysteries that I just don't understand, yet I can be closer with the goddess and experience different things through invoking and through meditating and through working with the goddess. But women have their own mysteries that they sometimes need to explore on their own, and everybody has their own mysteries they need to explore on their own. So it's I don't know if that answered the question, but that's kind of where I'm at with the gender identity and sexual orientation. It's given a lot of my magical thought to kind of early on. The reason why I put gay witchcraft together is because there wasn't a lot of books that talked about it, and I was kind of compiling my own little grimoire, talking to people, and eventually someone talked me into the idea that, well, maybe other people would like to see what you came up with.
And what has the response been to your book?
Really good, actually. Overall, it's been really, really good. It was nominated for a Lambda Award, which is a pretty prestigious gay literary award, which really surprised me. A lot of the gay literary world, I think, didn't quite know, what to do with it or what to do with me. So it was interesting to have that response. Although the gay pagans that were out there got a really great response from it, and actually a lot of the best reviews that I've gotten from it were actually from straight pagans, saying that it really helped them understand their coven mates, or to help them understand where their students were coming from, and really recommended it for both gay and straight pagans. So that was something that surprised me, and I was very, very happy with it. I kind of expected a little bit more of the kind of traditionalist backlash, and I mean, if that's been out there, I haven't quite seen it.
Now, you mentioned not having the right equipment to go to a women's circle or anything.
Right.
Have you run into any ritual situation where not having the right equipment was a hindrance because of certain things that needed to be done, or has it been mostly an energy polemic type situation?
Most of the things that I do, in public, I'm not really engaged in physical sexual magic unless it be with my partner or someone that I have an already intimate relationship with. So that's never been kind of that physical issue. And I think when you're ever in a public ritual or public space, they make it very clear of who's needed for what, or who's welcome to what, and not in a condescending or mean way, but just this is the type of mysteries we're going to explore here. So I haven't come across that personally myself.
Excellent. All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to add?
Well, I have a very kind of strange book coming out, and I don't know if it'll particularly speak to your audience, but that's the one that's coming out next March, between Mystic Foundation and the Temple of High Witchcraft.
All right. What's that?
It's called Ascension Magic, and it's a book that's really kind of bridging a lot of my connections and experiences in the healing community, and involved in a kind of a New Age community that people would call the Ascension Movement or Light Workers. And they're really drawing a lot of their theology from Theosophy, and really trying to bridge the gap between magicians and witches and shamans with this kind of more fringe New Age aspect of teachings and healing techniques, and really show how they have similar histories and how they have very similar techniques, although a lot of people in the Ascension paradigm maybe have different theology or different symbol systems to go on with it. So that's my focus in March, is having Ascension Magic come out and really trying to bridge the gap with that. But a lot of the Ascension folk are really involved in angels, but a lot of the lore that they have for angels is a little bit alien to people who might be Kabbalistically involved in angels. So I try to bridge that gap and talk about different types of both modern and ancient angelic lore. And it's the same thing with people who are involved in fairy traditions, like a lot of witches involved in fairy traditions look at New Age fairy traditions and kind of shudder and say, that's not where the tradition comes from, and that's kind of a Victorian era image. So really trying to bridge the gap and talk to people about where the roots of these things come from, and try to share techniques with both sides of the community.
All right. Now, you have a website and a mailing list. What's your website address?
The website's just my name, ChristopherPenczak.com, and all the info from my mailing list to get, info on when new things come out, new books and new classes are posted, right on there. Just click on mailing list.
And you do classes all across the country?
I do. I'm primarily based in the New England area, and I teach in southern New Hampshire and Boston weekly. But I actually tour and travel quite a bit. I do a lot of weekend intensives across the country, and we're doing a big Midwest tour in October.
Okay, and if somebody wanted to have you at their coven or bookstore or something, they can get in touch with you from your website?
Yep, the website has all my contact information.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on the podcast. I really appreciate you taking the time and talking so about your books and elementals and things like that.
Oh, it was quite a treat to be able to talk in depth about some of these topics. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks again. 93.
Blessed be.
I want to thank Keith and Christopher for being on the show. Appreciate taking the time. As I said earlier, the listener who sent feedback asking about Bereshith, there's going to be 2 upcoming podcasts that are going to be lectures. Number 32 and 33 are going to be lectures. 32 is going to be from Keith 418, and that is entitled Strategic Planning for Magicians. This was a lecture that he did in June at Therion Babylon Oasis in the Bay Area. And then show number 33 is going to be a lecture that I gave at Dove and Serpent Oasis in July. And it's about Crowley's ontology, and in particular, addressing his document Bereshith. And I talk about how Crowley saw the universe in an ontological way, and then how he took those ideas and mapped them to his AA system on the Tree of Life using kind of the outline. So it incorporates a lot of the Golden Dawn and also Crowley's ideas that he picked up while studying Buddhism. So that's going to be show number 32 and show number 33, and those are going to come out approximately over the next 4 weeks, probably about 2 weeks in between each one. So thanks for everybody for listening to the show. That brings us to the end of show 31. Again, I hope everybody had a wonderful feast of the Prophet and his bride. The outgoing song is a amusing one. It's from a band called Cakes of Light. The song is called A Real Prince. And I like this song because it's kind of folkish and acoustic and everything. But listen to the words, and it's kind of a funny thing. The way they're singing casually about sacrifice and things like that. It's pretty amusing, and I like the fact that all of these kind of subjects are in kind of a very folky acoustic guitar kind of song. So I hope people like it, and I've linked to the Cakes of Light MySpace on the show notes. So until the next podcast, I hope you stick around. Love is the law. Love under will.
You said that you're a magician. I'll teach second degree. Told her that you had a position in your secret society. Man, the way you're transmitting, I don't think she could see that you come from a long tradition of necromancy. You just wanted to have her abracadabra, abracadabra. I open. You led her to the crypt with a shiver, wax bloody with pain. On your altar, thousands were littered, and started to chant, God bless all of the sinners, and goddamn all the saints. And now that she finally listened, well, she started to faint. You just wanted to have her abracadabra, abracadabra. I open. switched off the light. Picked her up off the ground and called her your wife. And then, without a sound, you stuck in your knife. And as she spiraled down, you sucked the lifeblood from her. You just wanted to have